What is your Tinder horror story? Well, I've only gone on one Tinder date. We talked for a bit, and I agreed to pick her up at Starbucks. She looked nothing like her pictures, but I thought I should be nice and at least hang out with her for a bit. We went to her place, and the entire house reeked like cat pee, like saturated. Then, as she proceeded to show me her massive collection of animal tail plugs, she screamed at her chihuahua and smacked it right on the nose, and without missing a beat, just asked if I want to make out on the couch. I awkwardly sat down and pretended to look at my phone and made up that my grandma was dying so I could get the out. Wow, that was intense. Who in their right mind shows their literal plug collection on the first date? I have to say, dodged a bullet on this one, Chief. Next up, a user commented on an interesting way to get out of bad dates like these without killing your grandma. Okay, we will go over this again. The proper etiquette is to plan to have a friend call you in the middle of the date. If all is well, end the call quickly and proceed. Should things be not so great, answer the phone, scream, "Dear God," look at your exceptionally disappointing date and say, "There's been an accident," and then proceed to make a hasty exit. Don't thank me, thank Ms. Manners. So I met this girl on Tinder and went for a lunch date. We had a pretty good connection, so we decided to have dinner as well. After having a few drinks, one thing led to another and ended up back at my place. We hooked up and went to sleep. Middle of the night, I wake up. She's intensely staring at me while she's crouched behind the bed. I asked her if everything's alright. She said yes and got back into bed. I thought, a little creepy, but probably nothing to worry about. She lays down to cuddle with me and she's wet. At the time, I was like, damn, I just must be a stallion. Fast forward to the morning, she's gone and there's a wet puddle beside the bed. She peed on my floor. I still don't understand it. I had a bathroom, but maybe she just got lost and couldn't hold it. I did not hear from her again. Edit, just to be clear, we were both tipsy and not sloppy drunk. Sleepwalking? This exact thing happened to me once. It was a girl I had been dating for a while. We had a good amount to drink that night. I saw the whole thing happening because she woke me up getting out of bed. She just leaned forward on the bed and let fly. I got her back into bed and cleaned up before going back to sleep myself, and she remembered none of it the next morning. Over the next couple of years, I saw her sleepwalk a handful of times. Luckily, no other episode required cleaning up bodily fluids. Man, not pit. Alright, that was a good one at the end there. I mean, it seems plausible that she must have been sleepwalking, but there's a pretty good chance that she was just wasted. People tend to pee in weird places when they're wasted. This guy asked me if I would be interested in dating his dad. Pretty sure that guy was a catfish of said dad pretending to be Guy. Probably. The message he sent me was so weird. Don't leave us hanging. What was the message? This was a few years ago, so my memory is a little fuzzy. Something along the lines of, "Hey, my dad looked over my shoulder when I was checking out your profile. He wanted me to tell you that he thinks you're really cute. He's been really lonely lately. Would you be interested in going out with him? He's in his 50s. Here's a pic of him." Yeah, that was definitely the dad. Or that guy's just one hell of a wingman for his dad. Met up with a Tinder girl at Dave & Buster's. She brought me there for a f***ing pyramid scheme sign-up presentation. Guess I respect the hustle. That was good. My Tinder nightmare began on January 8th, 2014, when I started texting with a beautiful woman who I knew was out of my league. I'm a 50-ish Caucasian guy, out of shape, overweight, but otherwise stable and normal. She was a 30-year-old black woman, college-educated, stunningly beautiful, and very elegant and slender. Nonetheless, after a few days of texting, I invited her to join me for dinner at a very nice restaurant downtown. To my dismay, she actually accepted my invitation. I was waiting for her at the bar, and when she walked in, my jaw hit the floor. She was so beautiful, I literally lost my breath for a moment. She was taller than me in her heels and was wearing a beautiful short dress with the most amazing legs I'd ever seen. She greeted me with a bright smile and a gentle hug, and we were escorted to our table. We had a very good date, the conversation flowed, and she seemed to have a very good time as well. We decided to continue the date and went to a couple of bars for drinks. Finally, she said it was time to go home, and since she had taken an Uber earlier, I offered to give her a ride home, and she quickly agreed. All this time, I thought that even though the date was fun and comfortable, I assumed it would probably lead to a friendship at best, considering the obvious differences. Well, when we got to her place, we talked for a few minutes more. I offered to walk her to her door, but she declined. She then got out and walked around to my door. She leaned through the window and planted a very brief but sensual kiss on my lips. My heart stopped. She then leaned back and smiled. I was able to stammer out an invitation to go out again, and she accepted without hesitation. I was on cloud 9. I knew that this remarkable woman would have a profound effect on my life, and it seemed predestined. Fast forward a couple of weeks, She and I had been seeing each other nearly every day, and I was developing strong feelings already. But something was wrong. I had a weird nagging sense that she was hiding something. Although she was being very affectionate, something just felt off. Then it finally happened. We were out at a bar together. It was a good time, but she seemed distracted. As we were leaving, she turned to me and said in a serious tone, "We need to talk." I thought, this is it. The differences between us are too much for her and I'm about to be friend-zoned. But nothing prepared me for what came next. She asked me to just listen and not say anything, and I agreed. She then started out by saying that she had developed strong feelings for me, but there was something that I needed to know about her that might make me want to change my mind about pursuing a relationship. My mind was spinning, and so many scenarios raced through my head. Is she married? Is she a criminal? Then I remembered a few days earlier when we were making out and I touched her breast lately and realized that she had breast implants because it was quite hard. So I thought, OMG, is she a transsexual? But as it turns out, she wasn't, but that would have been better than what came next. She looked at me, and with a tear in her eye, she told me that she has stage 4 breast cancer. She was originally diagnosed 4 years earlier as stage 3 and had beaten it back into remission after having a double mastectomy along with radiation treatment and chemotherapy. Now it had returned as stage 4, and she was to start the chemo again in 2 weeks. I was floored. She then stated that she would understand if I wanted to turn and run and wouldn't think less of me for it. My response was to reiterate that I adored her, and I thought she was an amazing woman. If she wanted me to take this journey with her, that I would be honored to do so. We kissed and just held each other for a while. Finally, she said goodnight and went to her car to go home. I cried all the way home. We had a full, amazing year together. I had to go to Japan for work, and she met me there in between chemo treatments. She never cried and was always elegant. I learned what the true definition of grace meant. We lived a lifetime in 2014. She died 15 months after we met. I'm a much better man for having met her and shared in her struggle. I love you and miss you so much, Jenny. God damn, this was beautiful. Sounds like OP and Jenny shared more in 15 months than some married couples would share in over 15 years. Thanks for posting this, OP. This was incredible. What do you guys think? Do you like the story? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, this is Max, signing off.